बुढ़ापा बहुधा बचपन का पुनरागमन हुआ करता है. A line that I read in a chapter titled Budi Kaki by the legendary author Premchand back then in school. Back then, it was just a chapter and a story. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I am going to experience every word of it. There is a moment that comes in every adult's life, a moment that we are not prepared for, a moment that comes quietly, a moment that is inevitable, a moment that we realize that our parents are no more our parents, they have become our children. Let me take you through the key characters of my life. The picture on the screen will tell you the kind of financial status that I was born with. In the picture to the extreme left, it's me along with my two younger brothers and my parents. My father worked very hard to put food on the table, roof on the head, and set of clothes to wear. My mother, I don't know how, she managed the entire household with whatever little was given to her. Money, of course, was little and lots of challenges, but there was abundance of love and sacrifice. My parents spent everything that they had on the three of us. While growing up, I made a quiet promise to myself that a day will come when I'm going to give all the comfort to my parents that they never had. So at a very young age of 21, I stayed away from my parents due to my work commitments in different cities. My two younger brothers, Mahesh and Rajesh, looked after them, staying with them. In 2014, I was at a crossroad, Mumbai or Hyderabad. I chose Hyderabad. One of the biggest reasons for choosing Hyderabad was the fact that finally I'm going to be in the same city as my parents. My parents were happy too, thinking now finally he is going to be home. But life had different plans. Between 2014 and 2019, despite being present in the same city, I hardly met them as I was traveling for work. It was only during COVID, when the travel stopped and I saw the loss of life all around us, that something moved within. I realized how fragile our life could be and how much time I've already lost by staying away from my parents. One fine day, I went to meet my parents and my mother made me sit for a conversation. She told me, Lokesh, how easy it is for you to give money and think that you're fulfilling all your responsibilities. Don't get me wrong. You have always been, you always given all the comfort to us. You have never compromised and money is important. But we also want you to spend some time with us. Even if you spend 30 minutes with us, we'll feel very, very happy and we'll think that you're around us. Knowingly or unknowingly, she showed me a mirror. I was completely broken. I knew how right she was and how hollow my contribution has been. Something moved within, and from that day, I made a conscious effort to spend time with my parents and be around. Regular visits, regular conversations became part of our life. Parents age quietly before you realize they are older than you expected. Honestly speaking, I did not see this coming so fast. And like most of us, I was not even prepared for it. Small health issues, minor fall, accelerated this transition, especially in case of my father. My mother continued to be the strong one because for her, her comfort was always the last priority. I remember seeing my dad's trembling hands trying to put keys in the drawer or struggling to walk. My mother struggled too, but her struggle was mostly emotional and less physical. So when did I realize that my father is becoming more of a child and less of a parent? Do you recollect? Your children, they wait for you to come back home in the evening, expecting you to bring some fun food, some snacks, some toys. My father loved me coming home because we'll have conversation, I'll make coffee for him, I'll give him a massage. But at the same time, he always expected that I am bringing home some sweets, some snacks, some fun food that he loves to eat. In fact, there were times when he'll ask me, "Aaj kuch leke nahi aaye? You did not bring something today?" I used to just smile. I always had this habit of telling him what I've got for him. Like a child, he used to fight at home if it was not given in enough quantity to him, saying it was brought for me. Another instance I remember which was life-changing for me, my mother had to go to her brother's place for about 10 days and my father moved to my house to stay with me. On the very first morning, the attendant was missing. He was absent. I was very, very upset because I thought, how am I going to look after my father now? Anyway, I took him to the toilet, stood outside the door, keeping a watch on him. After a while, I realized that he's struggling to clean himself up. I was even more upset that how can I clean him up? A voice came within, Lokesh, do you think your parents hesitated like this when you were a baby? And that was it. I cleaned him up, helped him brush, gave him shower, wiped him, put moisturizer, put his diaper, and put him on the wheelchair. I realized that day that I have graduated from being just a son now to a parent as well. This was a very, very fulfilling experience and something that really changed my life. Another instance I remember, we went to the hospital with my parents and the nurse came with the papers and said, sign here, here and here. I looked at my parents. My mother nodded, basically telling me, sign the papers. I realized the pen has changed hands. The responsibility has changed hands. Was this transition very easy and simple for all of us? Absolutely not. For me personally, I was very confused. I was impatient. I will shout at times. I don't know when to help, how much to help, when not to help. I was even worried that my tone should not hurt my parents. For my parents, it was even more difficult. Because imagine what you could do till yesterday. Suddenly in the morning you realize you can't do this anymore. The thought that you are not strong enough, that you cannot do this anymore, you are dependent on somebody, can be very, very heartbreaking. And with God's grace, I think over a period of time, we all found a way to, make the most of whatever situation was there. During this beautiful journey, I learned a lot of lessons, some beautiful lessons I learned. The biggest lesson that I learned was, do not wait for your parents to ask you. Parents by nature are givers. They will never ask you unless it's a life and death. They don't ask you because they don't want to disturb us, they don't want to burden us, and at times, they feel if I ask too often, they may get irritated, they may shout at us, saying, how many times have I told you that I will do this? Why are you asking me again and again? Can't you see that I'm doing work? So they were scared. I made it a point when I was around, keep my eyes and ears open, observe, and do things even before they ask, whether it was their food, medicine, doctor visits, giving them a massage, or whatever it is. This helped them ease in the role, and me also as a child becoming a parent. Second lesson that I learned was, we need to be patient. Can you imagine your child saying, I will not eat food, I will not take medicines, I will not go for a walk, I will not go to school? What will you do? We'll get irritated. We'll not see their viewpoint as to why they are doing or saying what they're saying. My parents were no different. There were times when they'll refuse to do things. And initially, I was very impatient. I will change my tone. I realized over a period of time, I need to match their speed with me and not the other way around. The third lesson that I learned was very, very important lesson, that we need to engage them. We need to involve them. As you get older, you tend to start believing that you're not good enough, you cannot do things. Now, if you do not engage them, involve them, they will lose that faith even faster. I made it a point, and my father started to lose some part of his memory. So I'll sit with him, have conversation, ask him about his parents, his brothers, name your grandchildren. I even bought him a notebook, sketch pen, so that he could scribble. Doesn't matter how it looks. He feels that, okay, he's doing something, and I could see that there was a positive change on his expression. I always involved my mother in all discussions, in all decisions. I remember when my father was going from bad to worse in in his health, we discussed everything with my mom. The idea was that she should know that she matters, because they do. And finally, what I learned was, we need to listen and communicate to connect, not correct. In the early days, all my communication with my parents was all about correcting them. Don't do this, why did you do this, this is a mistake, and so on and so forth. I realized if I continue to correct them, I will lose the connect that I built over a period of time. Whenever I used to go home, my mother will make me sit, she'll have a series of complaints, and she'll take out everything on me. But hats off to her, because after taking out everything, she used to tell me, Lokesh, I'm so sorry. You are doing so much for us and I still take out everything on you. Where else will I go? Now these words made me strong and ensure that I listened to patiently. My father, he had his own series of complaints. I will listen to him and then I'll tell him, okay, I'll do something about it. And he'll say, theek hai. The best part was next day morning, he'll not remember any of those and he'll have a new set of complaints. Friends, the point I'm trying to make is all they want us to do is be around, listen to them, put a hand on their shoulder and tell them, main hoon na, I am there, don't worry about it. This beautiful journey of mine, being a son and a parent, would not have been possible without the 100% commitment of my mother, my two younger brothers, Rajesh and Mahesh, and our entire family. I could travel stress-free because I knew they are there right behind us. My father passed away on 22nd of April 2025. I still remember I was the only one there right beside him in the hospital when he passed away. When the doctor told me that he is no more, my voice choked and I just could not speak. All I remember is somehow asking her, are you sure? And she said, yes, sir. I miss his wit, his humor, his stubbornness, his love for food, and most importantly, his smile whenever I used to ask him, would you like to have a drink with me? From that day, from the moment he passed away, I have not shed a tear because something told me that I need to be strong because now I'm going to be parent to my mother, my brothers, and the family. Today, I'm a semi-parent to my mother. Semi because with God's grace, she manages most of her work herself. My support to her is more emotional, doing things what she wants me to do, and basically assuring her that you're not alone. Friends, a moment comes in life when our parents will need our time and not just the money. As they get older, it is our turn to look after them selflessly with love, like how they did in our journey from a child to an adult. And that moment will come. And when that moment comes, be graceful, step into it with grace, because parenting the parent is not a responsibility. It is the final expression of gratitude. Be their eyes, ears, hands, legs, or whatever you can be, because you never know when that chair going to be empty forever, forever. बुढ़ापा बहुधा बचपन का. Thank you.